I'm excited for James Gunn's DCU. DCEU is EU. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Unknown Nerdcast. I am Hector, and with me is my one and only Daniel Kim.
I love being your one and only.
It's part of the contract.
I should have probably read it before I signed it, huh?
Yes, but you're stuck with me now. How are you doing today?
um, I'm your one and only. How can life get any
Yeah, I
worse
swooned the
or
hell out of you
better
already. So,
any better? That's the because I forgot which one's the good one and which one's the bad one.
oh man, what an episode we have for you! But in the meantime, I do want to talk about Superman or my adventures with Superman a bit. The Max cartoon. Have you gotten a chance to watch it yet?
No, I haven't watched it. I heard it's super anime-y.
Yeah, it's very anime-y. Yeah, so I did a short review on the first two episodes, saying I enjoyed it, and I'm still watching it. I'm almost caught up, and just wanted to say that I'm still like really, really into it, really into the animation style, really into the storytelling, and really into the romance that they are building with Lois Lane and Clark Kent. I'm excited to see where it's going, and yeah, I'm really happy that I jumped into this show. But you know what's not very good? The Overwatch 2 Steam reviews. Are you familiar with this at all, Daniel?
No.
So
What happened with the reviews?
yeah, so since last year, Overwatch 2 has been exclusively on BattleNet. That's the only way you'd be able to play it on PC. With consoles, obviously it's a bit easier. You just get the game. You don't need any launcher or anything like that. You do have to create a BattleNet account still, but that's whatever. Everything has an account now. But earlier this month, it finally released on Steam, and meaning like cool, it gives you another option to play this game, which is all like more options is always great. So now you're not stuck with like just having to launch the BattleNet launcher, especially if you like me. I have most of my games on my Steam library. I do have an Epic account as well, but um fewer launchers open, the better. So now you can own it on Steam, but because of that, more reviews are kicking in, and with it being on Steam, it gives people in China the opportunity to play this game again. And in case you didn't know, earlier this year, oh no, yeah, earlier this year, or back in January, Blizzard didn't renew their contract with NetEase to be able to like have their games out there in China. So because of that, all of Chinese gamers lost all their shit because they can no longer play. They no longer have a national server. So I guess this is a opportunity for Chinese gamers to get back, or like be heard, where they're like, oh yeah, so we don't have like this, we lost our account, we don't have a national server, so the bandwidth is extremely slow, very buggy, connection is bad. And on top of all that, and this is what the rest of the gamers have been saying, is how much like how many microtransactions this game actually has, which is which sucks to see it drop this low. Overwatch, the first one when it came out back in 2016, 2017, it was game of the year. It was just that good. Everyone was obsessed over it, and back then you bought the game and pretty much you got everything included for the most part. There were some skins released later on that you would play to earn, and or you could buy it as well, but it had more structure. But Blizzard, being the money hungry company that they are, made Overwatch 2 free to play, which sounds good on paper, but that just makes them very um like yeah, to get more money. I was trying to come up with a word. Vulture's not the right word. I guess vultures, just predatory. That's what I was looking for. Very predatory with their microtransactions, where it's like, oh, you want this character, cool, you're gonna have to pay this much, playing and stuff like that.
Which
Which
is a part of the whole free to play, free download, where the game is free, but they're gonna load you up with like microtransactions. They're gonna
Yeah,
put that ton of that stuff in your face if it is free to.
yeah, and it sucks because obviously people need to get like companies need to get their money back, but there's a way to do it and not a way to make it super predatory where every single fucking thing requires like requires money and if it, even if it gives you like the false like oh you can play to earn this thing realistically taking you what like 60 hours or so to earn a skin or pay like 15-20 bucks or whatever it sucks um it sucks that they went that route but
Mhm.
Blizzard's gonna blizzard I guess.
Didn't they also have that big issue with China as well? Like something about Hong Kong and China, or that whole issue
Oh
where like also a popular streamer was
yeah it was
banned, or I forgot the
a
whhole story.
yeah I know a little bit of it so it wasn't a streamer it was esports
Oh,
and
okay.
it's obviously they're and this is not just Blizzard but like a lot of companies they try to stay on China or yeah China's good side because a lot of money comes from there and obviously China and Hong Kong they've been having like these political issues and stuff so this guy this e-player he was support of Hong Kong and because of that like oh no that's a big no so they just essentially canceled all his contracts and stuff like that so yeah,
Oh,
pretty
okay.
yeah.
I think people weren't too happy about that neither.
Yeah, no, but that was years ago, and
Mhm.
pretty much forgot about it as soon as the next update
Oh,
came.
yeah, like,
And I don't know if that was
PRs,
Overwatch or
yeah.
not, but definitely Blizzard. It may
I
have been
think it was
Overwatch, but
Blizzard. I don't know the game specifically, but I know Blizzard was in the name. I don't know what game.
yeah, it's one of those games. But
Mhm.
yeah, Blizzard very like they haven't been in the brightest of light
Yeah,
recently. Hopefully,
yeah,
with Microsoft purchasing
yeah,
Blizzard, that begins to change soon. But it's going to
mhm,
take some time until we see
yeah,
any improvement in that
yeah.
sense.
Do you think he was a
So
junkyard rat player?
I don't know. Junkrat was my favorite character, though. He was just such an idiot, so silly. I mean, I
Yeah,
like
I
the
know.
character, so he's my favorite character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't play much Overwatch,
'Cause I know I
to be
get
fair,
some, like,
but
slack. I know those players that choose junkyard rat some
oh really?
heat.
I didn't
Yeah.
know about that. I just
It
know I
might be
liked
just
him because he's
within the
an
people
idiot.
I play with, but I know he gets some heat at times. I don't necessarily know the reason why. I just don't get into that kind of stuff. I just play the game. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, same. Yeah, but it's too competitive for me.
Uh,
So I mean, I just don't play that many multiplayer
mhm.
games to begin with.
Yeah,
But
but Blizzard is having some PR issues.
oh yeah,
My
they've been
goodness,
having
they cannot get on the good side of anything at this moment.
yeah, no, it's one of those like in the case of Blizzard, one step forward, two steps back kind of thing.
Mhm. But well, the thing
The
about
head of Blizzard,
microtransactions, do you think like
supreme asshole.
yeah, like the only time I think it's like some DLCs I buy because it kind of extends the campaign. Like for example, Spider-Man, like the DLC
Hmm.
for Spider-Man, it was like kind of an extra added game
Yeah,
within the whole
but
universe. And
but
that's I don't mind paying money for that because it does seem like to me it does seem like you're I'm more so giving like if I had to break it down in some way, it's like tipping a waiter more money than the usual 15% because
yeah,
they give you great customer service. It's like me buying that game and not so me wanting to play more of the game, but also more so kind of like buying the game in support of like, hey, you guys made a great game. Thank you for the DLC pack. I support you guys, kind of a
yeah,
deal. But
that's different though, because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's DLC. That's like a whole as like different content. And you're
Hmm.
right. People are gonna buy that DLC because they love that game. They want to be
Hmm.
continue to be in that world, and that's
Yeah,
perfectly fine. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
The thing with
But
microtransactions though is
mhm,
it goes beyond that. It
yeah,
goes oh you want to keep playing, pay $10 to play
yeah, yeah.
one more round and stuff like that.
That's
That's
what
where
that's the
and that's
yeah, that's where it kind of like just to kind of play devil's advocate, do you think it's like it is actually predatory or is it just trying to make money to keep up with like expenses of developing and maintaining a game?
I think it goes on the basis of every game and how they do it.
Hmm.
In most cases, I find it to be very predatory, just
Hmm.
because yeah, if you want to continue playing, pay like a dumb amount. So and now this quote unquote free to play game is costing me $100 a month or whatever just to keep on playing it, even if it's
Yeah.
a good game. Versus there's games like Marvel Snap is a perfect example that I've played that game. It's the mobile card game. I don't know if you ever played it, but it's a free to play game, and I have spent maybe $20 in the game, and that's only because I wanted to buy the season pass. And with that, you only get different cards and stuff like that, but you can
Mhm.
definitely earn prizes for the season. The only reason I paid the $10 per season was because I was really enjoying the game at the time, and yeah, I'm getting my $10 worth, and I want to pay them because of that. Because obviously they get their money somehow, ads or something. I'm not sure. The game doesn't have any ads, so I don't know how they got their money with a free to play thing. But
Mhm.
yeah. So in that case, like I didn't mind buying the season pass
Yeah.
just because I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the game. But it's
Mhm.
when the game, like the microtransaction, gets in the way of you continuing to play the game, or being like, oh, you want this skin, you're gonna have to pay $15 for it. That's absurd. Like for just a
Yeah.
skin, that's way too much money.
Well,
Like I
the
like
skin I get because it doesn't like you don't have to buy. You're not forced. It doesn't.
right.
Yeah, looking like I don't know, playing as name like Kratos in
Fortnite.
yeah Fortnite is cool, but like it's not necessary. Like, but when you say like when you buy like seasons and stuff like that, it's just kind of like or in order to play. Do you, it's just kind of like I wish I knew the economics of like the finances of running games, so I can kind of better understand it. Is if it's something necessary because I'm first of all I'm kind of in the same train of thought as I'm guessing most gamers because like you want to pay for a game and that's it. You don't have to
Yeah.
keep having to keep paying. And a lot of things I think it's like this weird Netflix model where you have to pay for like a subscription and it's like now and
Mhm.
everybody's doing it now. Like even with like
Yeah.
I don't know, something as simple as like Microsoft Office, you now it's like it's not a software you buy anymore. It's like you have to sign up, you have to pay a monthly subscription for it. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of companies are taking on this model. I'm not sure if it's like I know for some companies it makes sense for them because it's just it keeps a level of income coming in where they can maintain the product and update it frequently. As far as the economics of games, I know like the production of a game can you're there's so many things that take into a factor, whether you're printing out the actual game CD and then the package or the printing and then distribution of that stuff. It's like there's so many hands and there's so many people in different companies taking a pot of your profits that it's just like, dude, we gotta make our money somewhere. And then that's where they come out with the microtransactions. So I'm not sure. Like I wish I understood it and knew about it so I can better formulate why they do it other than like it might be predatory. It might be them just trying to milk every single dollar out of their fan base, but
Yeah.
it could also be like I said, I just don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm,
And again, it's on a game by game basis. Some
mhm,
have their microtransactions like pretty good. Like I believe Fortnite has them great too, where it
mhm.
doesn't affect gameplay. And I think that's the important thing. Where can I play this game without paying you? And
Yeah.
that's not to say I won't pay anything. Like Marvel Snap,
Mhm.
for example. Um, I paid because I wanted to, because I was enjoying my time,
Yeah.
and I
Mhm,
didn't feel the need to put any money down. I wanted
mhm.
to, because like I want to
Yeah.
show both show my appreciation and get like those different variant cards and stuff. So yeah, so again, it's like it gets very messy. It
Yeah.
is on a
Mhm,
game to game basis,
mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah, but I get the consumer where they're just kinda like, "Dude, I'm just like, I'm paying way too much for this game," or
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I get that feeling, yeah. Ugh, it's tough, but yeah.
Yeah, and again, it sucks because in the case of Overwatch, you had such a great game in Overwatch 1,
Yeah. Mhm.
and when Overwatch 2 was announced, everyone's like, "Why are what's the difference?" Because Overwatch 1 kept on being updated with brand new characters every so often,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh, well, we have a different game." style where now instead
Mhm.
of 6 characters it's 5, so that would have like people now have to like change their strategies, their tactics, because you're missing a whole last person.
Yeah.
And two, among other things, but these are the main two that like I took note of, is the single player story campaign, which had me excited because, like I mentioned, I play mostly single player story games. That's
Mhm.
my cup of tea. So I was hella
You
excited.
loner.
Yeah, that is mostly the reason why I have no friends, and you never finish your games. So you're still in Super Mario Brothers 1.
But I'm not a loner, so ha.
Yeah. Anyway, jerk. Why are we friends now?
I don't know. I get it because sometimes like for me, I tried playing Valorant, but everybody is like levels above me, so I'm just like
Yeah.
it makes it like not fun because I can't do anything in that
Especially
game.
coming home from work, you're super tired. Just like, all right, time to sit
Yeah.
down, relax, and play a little. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and then the 13-year-old cusses you out. I'm just like, I'm not
I
an I'm
fucked
not
your
an
mom.
it's like she's a nice woman. You take that back. She's not a whore.
Call me daddy. Yeah.
I
But
already
yeah.
have a dad.
But yeah, the single player was then later canceled for
Mhm.
Overwatch. So it's like, what the fuck? So really, it looks like Blizzard just made Overwatch 2 free to play for like the predatory micro
Yeah.
transactions. So
Mm.
it sucks to see, especially when you were on top, literally game of the year, to where we are now, where they're bombarding you with negative reviews, most of which you do deserve.
How do you feel about that, using reviews as weapons and threats?
I mean, for the most part, I'm against it, just
Mhm.
because, especially when it has nothing to do with it. Just say like Marvel, for example, you see that all the time, where it's like, oh, it's a female directed, female led movie. Let's give this downvote. So I haven't watched it, but let's like review bomb it. And it does affect viewership. It affects people not wanting to see it with so many movies and games and TV shows out there.
Mhm.
You're gonna want to see something that, like, there's a positive conversation and when it's like
Yeah.
being bombarded with negative reviews that you don't deserve, yeah, that's kind of sucks.
And
But
just to make it clear also, like, you have to also realize that there's, like, a business side to anything that happens within, like, these games. It's just like there's a company that is in charge of, like, the business side, and the developers, they're just trying to make a good game sometimes, and it's
exactly,
just like, and a lot of times, like, the business side tends to, like, tell them, like, how to do things, and they
yeah,
just wanna make a good game. So you also have to realize, like, when you do, like, review but I get their frustration, I really do. But when you do these reviews, I hope they kinda, like, know what they're doing, because you might actually hurt the people that are just not just caught in the
what
crossfire, like, the innocent people.
100%, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And like the ones that actually made these decisions
Yeah.
we'll never see that. It's just
Yeah.
developers and people maybe losing jobs because, like, oh well, shit, this happened. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's it for the most part. Against it. In this case, I'm actually for it, just because like it's a form of protest,
Yeah.
and Blizzard's a kind of a shitty company at the moment for both its workers and consumers.
Yeah.
So yeah, go at it. But that's a conversation for a whole other day,
Yeah.
whole topic.
It's a shame because they put out so many good
The games
games
are great.
too.
Yeah, the games are great.
Yeah.
Like Diablo 4 that I was obsessed with, that I'm about to
Mhm.
jump back into because I'm
Mhm.
in my gaming funk, and then I've been wanting to sink my teeth back into Diablo 4, so maybe that'll get me out of my funk. But
Super funk. He's super funky.
I am glad that my funk amuses you.
I mean, it is kind of funky.
But you know what else is amusing? The state of the DCEU. Let's
Well,
move on.
is it funky? I
It's
don't know.
it's something. It's something. So the state of the DCU has been, well, in a funk as well. It's been it's been
Super
in
funk.
it's
I mean,
such a
it's super
shitty
freak.
yeah, it's been in such a shitty state. Right now we're preparing for the James Gunn takeover.
Nice.
James Gunn and I believe Peter Safran. Yeah, Peter Safran. For them to take over the DCU, which I'm super excited for. Starting with Superman Legacy in 2025, supposedly, but with the writers and actor strike, who knows when anything is gonna go back on track. While super excited for that, it's still kind of messy, especially because we are still not done with the DCEU. I mean, this weekend alone, we have Blue Beetle coming out, which
Blue Beetle, yeah.
I'm so excited for that.
And
But
Aquaman 2 is still coming out, right?
Aquaman 2 has
Yeah.
probably been delayed into next year.
Oh yeah,
Even
because
though it's been
yeah.
finished for like since last year or something. I
Mhm.
forgot. But anyway, so yeah, Gal Gadot, aka Wonder Woman, she went out and said that her and James Gunn have been talking, and Wonder Woman 3 is in early stages of development for the DCU. When I heard that, I was kind of disappointed because I want a clean slate. Like maybe the only superhero from the DCEU that I want is Blue Beetle because he has nothing to do with the DCU as of late, and maybe Shazam because I love Zachary Levi.
And Henry
Which
Cavill as Superman.
well, he's as much as I would love him to continue, but that's out of the picture. So maybe just
Yeah.
those two. Maybe just Blue Beetle to keep it like a cleaner slate, I
Mhm.
guess. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed when they said that they're gonna keep Wonder Woman or Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman for the DCU, just because like again, I want a clean slate. I don't want some bleed over from the DCU that in my opinion, was a big failure. It's yeah,
Don't DCU my DCU.
yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm excited for James Gunn's DCU.
Mhm.
DCEU is EU. That's terrible. Like DCU.
Yeah.
But
Dad jokes.
bad jokes.
You come for the discussions and you leave with the I don't know, something with dad jokes.
But yeah, yeah, what do you think of this like back and forth?
So Gal Gadot is in talks to maybe be inside James Gunn's new his
DCU.
version of
No,
DCU.
that's what Gal Gadot said, but then
Okay.
later uh
So it's not 100% confirmed that she is
no,
gonna
no,
be there.
it's I'm not sure if I didn't say it or not. But this story is so yeah, she went and said that, but then
Mhm.
this week, James Gunn and Peter Safran confirmed that it's
She
not in
won't.
development and she's no longer going to be part of
Oh,
the
okay. Sorry,
DCU.
sorry.
That
I
I
missed
probably missed that just because we're like
I probably might
our
have missed that.
shenanigans.
Yeah, or
Whatever. It's been said
or my
now.
because of the shenanigans, I probably didn't hear it, but I don't know. Well, despite it, it's a shame because I personally liked Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. She's a great actress.
I
She looked
think you.
great in that Wonder Woman suit,
I
and
think
let's
you're
just
not
say
getting.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
Give her at least that.
I
She looked
that's what I
great
was
in
gonna
that
say. I
suit.
think you're not getting past her looks because she looks. She's a beautiful woman. She's a beautiful
Mhm.
actress, of course. But have you heard her deliver her lines?
I think they're
Yeah. I mean,
fantastic. What are you talking
I
about? She's beautiful.
I I always thought that there was like something off, but I'm like, whatever, it's fine. Wonder Woman, the first one was great. I didn't watch the second one, and then yeah,
Thank God, because that one was just.
yeah, I know, but it's something about her line delivery that just falls flat,
Mm.
kind of like the DCEU, I guess.
Well, it's because she's from Amazon where they're kind of like more emotionless and they're just more supposed to be
Mm,
fierce warriors that they're
uh,
not in tune with their emotions. So she's acting as if she was an
uh,
emotional warrior.
I could have
So she's
sworn
doing a
that
great
I could have sworn I saw them screaming in pain when they were being obliterated, but what do I know by the
They're Amazon
monsters?
warriors that scream in pain, but don't scream in victory or whatever it
Should
else
know
it is.
they should know emotion unless you're dying.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But no, it's just I don't know. Personally, at being a fan of her, I think I get what you mean. It's just like just cut it all, just cut the wound and just like
Yeah,
start fresh.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if she's not in it, hopefully I do have faith in James Gunn that he might cast another great Wonder Woman.
mhm,
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's just it might be. I don't think there's any bad blood. More so, like I don't like you said. I think he probably there's going to be like a lot of spillover, and I think James Gunn is trying to cut most of that. Just be like, no, this. I want to make sure that everybody knows that this is a clean new
yeah,
slate.
yeah, and so far there's been a lot of back and forth,
Hmm.
um, with that, and I think a
Mhm.
lot of it has to do with like advertising for the movies that are coming out. Because myself included is like, why would I want to go see this if I know it's not continuing, not gonna have closure? Because
Mhm.
they're kind of leaving these open ended in a sense.
Yeah.
And then that's why they're like, oh, the Flash might be in the DCU, and then Flash comes out like, yeah, he's not in it. But
Oh
yeah, moving
god.
on from this very cheerful story to Zachary Levi, keeping it in the DC universe.
Oh
Um,
god.
yeah, so Zachary Levi has been, I guess, on a parade as of late. First, saying how Shazam wasn't really advertised. Shazam 2: Fear of the Gods wasn't really advertised properly. Saying how it's a perfect family film and it wasn't advertised as such. And I tend to agree. I did watch it. I enjoyed it for the most part. It wasn't as good as the first one, of course. This one
Taste
was
the
okay.
rainbow.
Oh, that was bad. Uh, ugh, come on, I'm trying to be positive here. Don't remind me of the
Okay, sorry.
shitty parts. God damn it! Oh,
I
I'm
know
so
that was the
mad now.
part.
Fuck this movie.
I remember that was the part you were like, "Oh god." I'll
I was like,
forever remember that moment.
damn it, because I enjoyed it for the most part. But there's like parts where I'm just like, holy crap, die. Anyway, so yeah, so he's been on a campaign of sorts on Twitter and podcasts, interviews, and stuff. Where yeah, he's bummed out that it wasn't as successful as he thought it was going to be. And his latest, I guess, outburst is, yeah, he urges fans not to watch garbage, Hollywood, quote unquote, garbage that Hollywood puts out. Like that, the studios don't care enough to actually make it great, make movies great. I was talking to you earlier, and I'm like, oh, kind of ironic because that's kind of what happened with Shazam 2: Fury of the Gods. I mean, it does have like a more positive Rotten Tomato score for people, for people, for non-critics. I forgot the word. Jesus Christ.
Fans, audiences, or whatever. Yeah, non-critics, non-critics.
For people.
People are people
Jesus
too.
Christ. Oh man, that was just the big brain fart. But yeah, so it has an 86% audience score and a 49% critic score.
Mhm,
So critics are saying stay away from this Hollywood garbage. Meanwhile, people, quote unquote,
mhm.
have been saying, yeah, no, go watch it. Me myself, I tend to be more on the positive side. Go watch it because it's a fun film.
Yeah.
Some annoyances aside, overall, had a good time. Um, but yeah, I just want to. I'm including this because I just want to hear your thoughts on this garbage that Hollywood comes out. I have my opinions, but like I just want to hear yours first.
Yeah. So like, so he's saying that
Yeah. So
don't
here, let
don't
me
invest
read.
your money if like
Yeah,
if it's
let me read
garbage.
a quick quote, like his quote
Okay.
and stuff.
Okay.
Um, so he says, I personally feel the amount of content that comes out of Hollywood that is garbage. They don't care enough to actually make it great for you, for you guys. They don't. How many times do you watch a trailer and go, "Oh my god, this looks good. This looks so cool." Then you go to the movie and it's like, "This is what I get." And then it continues. They know that once you've already bought the ticket and you're in the seat, they've got your money. He continued. And the only way for us to change any of it is not to go to the garbage. We have to actively not choose the garbage. It'll help. It'll help a lot. End quote.
Okay. Okay. A few things is just like, how do you know something is garbage unless you go watch it yourself? So they're gonna eventually watch
So,
it, have to watch it too. Because I'm never a big fan of just reading critic scores and just being like, oh, the critics say it's bad, so
mhm.
therefore I'm not gonna watch it. Because a lot of times, like critics and I have differing opinions. It's like, what they thought it was a bad movie, I thought it was a great movie. Or they said it's a great movie, and I was like, oh, that wasn't that great. So like, there are those times where like critics and I don't see eye to eye on things. And a lot of times, even with like
Oh yeah.
superhero movies, a lot of critics do come in. They have a certain way of gauging and grading these things, and like a lot of the criterias that they use to measure a good movie isn't necessarily how you measure what a good movie is. So that in itself is kind of like, how do you determine what I should support unless I go watch it? Because and that leads into the trailer. Is the trailer kind of is the commercial and the hype man
Yeah,
for the
they're
movie.
selling you the
Yeah, they're
movie.
trying to sell you the movie. So if the trailer did a great job of getting you excited, then the people who made the trailer technically did a really good job. I mean,
Mhm.
so like I mean, it's hard to determine like how do you determine what's garbage and what you should support and what you shouldn't support, because like yeah, like I think you said earlier, like let's say for example Blue Beetle, like I heard it's been getting pretty crapped on, or from what
Really?
I've heard.
I heard the opposite. I heard that it's been getting pretty decent or pretty good reviews.
Okay, let's just say the Red Beetle in a different alternate universe. The Red Beetle's coming out and it's getting bad reviews. But I'm
Okay.
like, oh, but I really want to see Red Beetle. And then you go watch it and just like, wait, that was actually a good movie. So like, how do you determine that? Because you can't speak for fans. If fans like it, then they like it. If they don't like it, then they don't like it. You know, it's just kind of like you're telling them you're doing the you're criticizing, you're being kind of a hypocrite when you're telling him, "Hey, don't do this," but like you're telling him what to do. So it's just like let the fans determine what was a good movie or not, you know? That's what I say. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean that's exactly what he's saying though. Let the fans determine if it's a good movie or not, and then
Oh,
you
I thought
vote
it
for
was
your
like
side.
don't go to that movie and invest your money in that movie if it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like how do you know it's a bad movie unless you go watch it?
So I mean, the way I uh
That's the way I'm interpreting it, because it's just like I said, like if you're let's say, like I said, the example with like let's say an up and coming movie, it's like getting all this hype, and then I'm like, oh, it's worth people are talking about it for a reason. I go watch it, it's like, oh, that's not a good movie, but I technically supported it because I paid to go watch it.
yeah.
But like, but a lot of times, like I'm just saying that there is this disconnect between me and the critics, because a lot of times the critics' opinions don't match my opinions, because I was like, hey, this is even like something like the new Disney remakes, you know, like from the Lion King. I didn't watch The Little Mermaid, but like Lion King, Aladdin, I didn't think those were great remakes, but like I don't think the critics did neither. But like let's just say the critics, for example, if for just for my example's sake, did like the movie and I didn't like the movie, then I'm like, damn, I just gave my money to something that
Mhm.
I didn't really like, and I don't want them to continue because they have a track record of not capturing the essence of these movies that they're remaking, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, he might be talking about like really transparent garbage,
Hmm.
something that it's really bad, but it like, hey, it's the newest superhero movie, so I'm gonna go watch it anyway. I think that
Oh,
that's
like
the
okay.
mentality.
Mhm,
And also, I mean, the way I do it with critics, I don't solely base my decision of whether I'm gonna get that game, get that, watch that movie, watch that show, or whatever, based on critics. I do like reading reviews, and I don't always see eye to eye to them, but I like reading why they didn't like it or why they did like it and
mhm,
stuff like that, and see if it aligns with my shit. Where they're like, oh yeah, this game, for example, it was too grindy. Um, to get to the next level, and me might be oh, you know what, I do feel kind of like a grindy RPG, so this
mhm,
might be my I might get enjoyment out of this, even though they
mhm.
didn't, and that's the specific reason why they didn't. I'm
Yeah,
going to, because it's calling out to me, even though
yeah,
like the reviewers, because everyone's different, obviously.
mhm,
And then another way to like avoid like quote unquote garbage films and stuff is word of mouth. It's Word of mouth is extremely powerful. I don't know why I said it like that. Powerful.
mhm,
There's been movies where first weekend at the box office, they not necessarily a flop, but they're like not it doesn't meet expectations. And but then I think Talk to Me, this new the A24 film, the horror film that just came out. I think that's a pretty good example where it didn't like necessarily break records, but word of mouth was like powerful, because it's like, oh, this movie's great, this movie's surprisingly great, go watch it. And me talking to you, for how like we just talk about movies, I just watched this movie, go watch it. You're gonna like it because I know your taste, blah 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 blah. I'll go watch it with you because it's that good, blah blah blah. So I just have your butt in that seat, ticket, and so on and so forth.
okay,
So yeah, so word of mouth is definitely a way
yeah.
to.
Because the way he's quoted it, I don't think like, yeah, I didn't understand it. Like, you might be right, and that's what he intended to say, but I didn't take it as such because, yeah. But I mean, like I said, even with critics, there's sometimes going back, like Shadow of the Colossus is one thing that I listened to the critics and I'm happy I did, because when I read, like, there was a magazine, I'm not sure if it's still around, called Game Informer, that was
Yeah, yeah.
raving
So
about that
yeah.
game, and I was just like, "What is this game?" And I was just like,
Oh,
I just
such a
bought it,
beautiful
and
game.
yeah, it was such a good game, and I was just like, 16, and all you do is just fight bosses, and it's just like,
Yeah, that's all
this
you do.
concept is awesome, and I'm just like, yeah, that's, like, an instance where, like, I listen to the critics, but, like, yeah, a lot of times, like, movies I want to see, I want to see.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes the trailers has a big thing to do with that. Sometimes it's word of mouth. Sometimes it's like critics. I don't know. I just have
Sometimes it's
a
just your taste.
yeah. So I just like, it's, yeah. I mean, like, I'm in full support of, like, not support. I'm in full support of not supporting garbage, but, like, it's just
Yeah.
hard determining what garbage is sometimes, because, like I said, a lot of, and, like, he's part of it too. Like, the DCU, like, I would have wished I would caught all those movies for free. So just because yeah, but,
Yeah.
it's just, whatever, whatever happened, happened. But, like, yeah, like, I'll support. I'm in full support of what he said, as far as, like, supporting great movies, great anything,
Yeah.
and not supporting that's mediocre people that are just a quick. That's a lot of times, it's a quick cash grab for the studios. Like, oh, we're just putting this out because we know people like the Matrix Revelations, or
Yeah.
Revolution,
Mhm.
the newest one. It's just like,
I
this
didn't watch it.
was, well, I
It's
did, and I
look,
just
yeah. Oh
regretted it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was on my to watch list, and then you told me your experience.
don't
I'm
do
like,
it.
all right, I'll probably sit it out. I mean, even though I
Yeah,
can
and
like
that's my
stream
word of
it
mouth to
now.
you. It's like, just
Exactly. See,
take your
exactly,
time. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and I think what he's saying too it does go along with a lot of the recent MCU um and like films that have come out. I
Mhm.
haven't been too hot on them. Like I enjoy them, but then it's like okay, like Ant-Man wasn't that great, and
Yeah.
I think that's where the quote unquote superhero movie fatigue is coming out,
Mhm.
where it's like yeah, it's okay, but
Yeah.
then we have Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is a phenomenal film. So it's like, okay, maybe it's not superhero fatigue, and maybe it's just the fact that these movies they're just phoning it in. It seems
Yeah.
like. So
Yeah.
um it could be that, it could be superhero fatigue, but who's to say? Just
Yeah.
yeah, I just saw this his quote, and I'm like, that could be an interesting topic. And plus,
Yeah.
like I mentioned earlier, I love Zachary Levi, so I'll do anything he says.
Yeah, let's just not support
Yeah,
garbage, and that's, yeah.
I mean, again, he does have a point. It's kind of hard to, like you mentioned, differentiate between what is garbage and what isn't garbage because
Yeah, that's what I'm
art is
saying. It's just like,
subjective.
how do you determine that? That's the real issue right now, in my
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can tell when something's garbage and not garbage for the
Mhm.
most part. So I'm pretty sure, like you'll be able to differentiate between the two. It's just that we have it in our mind that we have to watch this film because it's part of like the MCU or the DCU. So we're gonna go watch this. I'm not happy about it, but I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Case in point, me and Secret Invasion. I'm not happy about watching Secret Invasion because it doesn't look exciting to me. And seeing reviews, it's been very um
Meh.
lukewarm at exactly, and that's how I'm feeling. But I'm gonna watch it because it's part of the MCU, and I feel like I'm missing out and stuff. So I'm doing exactly the opposite of what Zachary Levi just
So
said.
you don't do what he says.
Yeah, I know. I just contradicted myself within like 5 minutes.
I know, right?
We have a problem.
I know.
All
Hector, we
righty.
need to talk.
We've been doing this for the past hour. We've been talking. I think we're done. Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
jeez.
yeah, and I think we're done.
Tell me how you really feel.
I have for the last 45 minutes told you how I feel about all these exciting, riveting stories.
Okay.
Your face. Alrighty. Well, anyway, this has been another exciting episode of the Unknown Nerdcast. Daniel, any final thoughts?
Don't support garbage. Gal Gadot is an amazing Wonder Woman, and Blizzard, get your ish together.
Okay. I agree with 2 out of 3 statements.
Gal Gadot is an amazing actress. Is one.
Again, I don't think you got past the way she looked like as Wonder Woman. And let's leave it
She's
at
just
that.
trying to be an Amazonial warrior.
I mean, Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. I mean, she's not good, but she is Wonder Woman.
She wasn't good in 1984. That was not her era or year.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We have been pushing our social media a bit more, so please go give us a follow on all the social media platforms. We are Unknown Nerdcast. Thank you guys once again. Your support means the world. And yeah, until next time. Peace
Checking the
out.
cash.